कारणाय विददाय नमो नमस्ते। यो विप्रलिम्ब विपरीतमतिप्रबोधान् वादान् नरस्य कृतवान् भुविदत्पवातं सर्वेश्वरो हरिरीति प्रतिपातकं तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवर्यं नमामि। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु वामिष्विदावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। केनोपनिषदः तलवकारोपनिषदः शान्तिपाठः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणः चक्षुः श्रोत्रम् अतो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणमेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते या उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Welcome friends once again, and as we have come to this session number 18, we have gone through 17 sessions so far. We are in the Kanda number 3 and the last part of the episode. Before we go to that, yesterday, if you remember, yesterday was the famous Amavasya where Rameswaram was full of disciples, and all over south, in fact everywhere, including Haridwar, Rishikesh, everywhere, it is a very, very important Amavasya. And yesterday was also incidentally the Punyatiti Aradhana of Srimad Purandaradasa. So when we see, whatever has the Upanishads and Vedas have said, which has to be brought in a very, very simpler language to the public, few can equal Purandaradasa, because he has brought the entire concept in such a simple and succinct way. Anyone can understand. The language is as simple as possible. In fact, it is said he has almost composed more than 100,000 songs. Of course, what we have got and what we have obtained is somewhere around 30,000 or 25,000. That too, most of them are not always popular. Only now people are trying to dig out. But as per the records, he has composed more than 100,000 songs. See, if you see, even if he has composed a song every hour throughout his lifetime, and he got the realization late in his lifetime. We know his story. He was a very rich man, but miserly man. He was so miserly, he did not even lit up agarbatti in his shop, because he thought all others are lighting up and that fragrance is good enough for his shop also. He doesn't have to specifically do. He was that type of a person. Finally, when he got the realization through the greatest guru, Vyasaraja. The Vyasaraja is the one who has brought this entire, the great Mahans to the fore. And few can equal Vyasaraja in propounding the philosophy, any philosophy, Dvaita, Advaita or Visishtadvaita. He was master of all the three. And there is one Surendranath Dasgupta. In fact, I have shared this information earlier for the purpose of understanding and repeating it to know that. They say in the Indian philosophical thought there is few parallels to, there is no one equal to Vyasaraja in propounding the dialectical deduction of all the philosophies. And that is how, he has brought, the prominence of Dvaita philosophy into the firmament of, all other philosophies. And that is the greatness. He has identified all these dasas who are capable of giving the entire Sara of Upanishads and Veda in a very simple and subtle language if a common man can understand. So that is the greatness of Purandaradasa, and we seek his blessings. And one more thing we will have to understand, Purandaradasa, the name which came, because there are different connotations, because we think, there was a Dasa, he was Pandaripura, Purandara, he was just extolling those gods and all. Purandara, it has got a very, very deep meaning. In Chandogya Upanishad, the 8th Adhyaya, there is one word, Edat Satyam Brahma Puraha. Etat Satyam Brahma Puraha, in the sense, there is only one Satya. Etat Satyam. This is Satyam. That is only Brahma Puraha. Even our body is Pura of, like, you were telling, this Puram and that Puram, Sinkali Puram, other Puram and all. The body is also Pura of the Paramatma. The entire world is also Pura of the Paramatma. So we have all the sources also from Pura of the Paramatma. And when he has created the world, in the Yoga Nidra, he has not created out of the distress, he has created out of the pure joy. Satchitananda, when he said that Satchitananda, when he has created, we are all the blissful soul we have created to be happy in this world. So that is our, so because when we have to get that bhava, Etat Satyam Brahma Puraha, it's a Mahavakya of Chandogya Upanishad 8th Adhyaya. So to do our karmas with the total sincerity, without any sort of attachment, in the sense, because Kriya is what we are doing for our living, just to repeat, and Karma is the one we are doing as we have to do as an obligation, to educate your children, or to do some good, to take care of your parents, or to do something good to the society in which you are part of it. All these things are Karma. The Karma is always, it gives, I think, there's Adhyatma Shuddhi. See, when Adhyatma Shuddhi, when it is there, it creates and purifies your thoughts. That is the karma. So we will have to do our karma. When we do the karma, there are so many karmas. Nitya karmas are there, which we will have to do as a part of the obligation. All of us have to do. Everyone has got to do. We also have got to do. Every caste, creed, everyone has got. Entire world has got to do. Even in irrespective of whether Jewish or Zoroastrians or Christians or Muslims, they have got everything to do. They are all doing it. So that Nitya Karma, when you do, it is the purpose is to purify and purify yourself and purify your thought. So you don't get contaminated at any point of time. So you give such a clarity and effulgence to your thought. All your clarity and effulgence will come forth from morning to evening every day. And that's how, we will be able to lead a wonderful life in this world. That is exactly the Purandara, in the sense that Pura, to get that Pura, Antara. That is Purandara. That is why he is called Purandara Dasa. It is not any other thing, he was only sitting in front of a Purandara Dasa or Pandaripura singing and all. He was peripatetic. He was moving. He was not in a particular place. He was moving place to place. He was going to every place. Tirupati here, wherever it is there. He was going even to poor Brahmin's house. And he was also singing. There is no, because there he has seen. As we have seen in Ishavasya Upanishad, the living power, enlivening power is in everyone. For him, there is no differentiation. The man who was once a miser and a billionaire, he gave up everything in one shot once he has realized. That is what we said, when you get a realization, the twitch of the eye, it is a small spark of the lightning. When it comes, once you realize, you find what all these experiences and the desires, they don't have any meaning. He gave everything with the Tulasi Dala and contributed entire thing, because he gave it to the public and charities, and he left a very simple and pedantic life, peripatetic movement to everywhere, irrespective of the fact whether rich, poor or anyone and all. There is no differentiation whatsoever. And in that process he has composed, it is in the later part of his life, in that process he has composed more than 100,000 beautiful Dasakritis. That is the greatness of the Dasas. In fact, last week, I think our Padmanabhan sir has also attended a very Dasas set of one Aradhana. So likewise, the Dasas are one which are very much essential part of the society. We may be, few people will have an opportunity to understand Veda, Upanishad or scriptures. For most of the people, they may at least hear. And those who have got the grace of the God, even by hearing, they will try to understand and evolve. There may be so many people who may not have any scriptural knowledge. For that matter, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he was a Gadadhara. The original name is Gadadhara. He was a small Brahmin family. His family was doing the puja, archakas in a small temple. When he had, to take over the responsibility because his father was not there, his uncle was ill. That is how he came to Dakshineshwar. He didn't have any great knowledge of scripture and all. But finally what he has realized, that everything is whatever has been said in the scripture, there is an example in his life. This is the greatness of it. It is not necessary. But once it comes, the scriptural knowledge, why we are going through is, Because having lived in this world, we don't have occasion, because whereas the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, right from the day one, he had such a innate bhakti, he's totally devoted him, saranagati, he didn't have any other means, because he must have had the grace, because he got all the purva punyas, everything has come into the fore, he got it done. So, finally he could find someone like Vivekananda, to take his knowledge all over the world. So likewise, it comes through the simple ways of leading the life and understanding it. These dasas have great job, and that is how we pray to them, and they have done. In fact, what we are discussing, all these things, every one of his song you can find out one of the Upanishadic words coming into this, one of the Upanishadic saras coming into that. And if we don't do that, that's what saying. This Purandara, once you have the Pura, the Brahma Pura, Etat Satyam Brahma Pura, once you imbibe it, you get into the grace of the God. If we don't do it, Puranjara, that's what they say. If we fail to do it, Puranjara, we totally, sort of miss the bus in this life. That's what we say, Higachete Vedeti. Otherwise, if you do it, Satyam Asti. Otherwise, Ihachete Nachete Vedeti. Mahati Vinashti. We saw it in the second, the kanda of that one. Because we lose, the entire life is purposeless, meaningless. There is a catastrophe. We are not able to do that. The very purpose of the life for which we have come into and we are experiencing the life, we are not able to do that. This is the port of it, and with this, we will remember all the great dasas who have brought us to the great concept of Upanishads and all. Now coming to this mantra number 11, we have seen how Agni and Vayu, both of them were asked to go and find out who is this Yaksha. They went and they forgot to ask him who is this Yaksha. When they went, they were in the spell, they were not asking. When Yaksha then asked him, who are you? They tried to introduce themselves. Agni introduced himself, I am Agni. What is the Viryam? I can just, Dahamevapi, I can, entire Prithvi, I will just, take it out. Hello? The entire Prithvi, I can just burn it in a piece. And Vayu, he said, I will lift it to the entire thing. But they couldn't do even a trinam, a small piece of grass. The blade of grass they were not able to do. There is no any change in that. This is mainly because of the pride. So once they couldn't do, they came back, because the first and second batsmen failed miserably. They came to the captain. The captain Indra came. And he has been asked, Aretat, Are Indram, Abruvan, Magavan Yedat Vijanihi. Kim etat yakshamiti, they said. And Indra also said, Tadeti, Tadastu, I will go and find out. He has been asked to find out. How the pride has prevented them. See, the pride, not to have a pride, is easier said than done. One of the things is, all of us are identifying with our body and all our actions, all our experiences, which are all special to ourselves. And we have been told by others also, you have got some special things you have done and all. Good, that we have it and all. Because when you see the mind has got the four components. Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. It has got four components. The Ahankara is the identification of the I with the body, mind and intellect doing. Identification is required because when you have to exhaust your prarabdha karma, because which are all the prarabdha karma you are exhausting in this world, and you are also trying to get the grace of the Lord in this particular birth. So when you are doing that with that particular ahankara. Ahankara has to be there. But attributing every success, attributing every failure of yours, attributing, every sort of grand occasions of your life, attributing every misery of your life to yourself, that takes away the entire purpose and the entire grace. In the sense, you are identifying only with your own, whereas, He is always there. He is getting it done for you. Once you focus it onto Him, He takes you blissfully through that process. And when we say something happens untoward, we say, because it may be prarabdha karma, doesn't matter. Once you have His grace, He gives you the strength, He minimizes the effect. You go through that prarabdha karma, all of us have to go through. Your account balance is there. We have to exhaust our account balance, no one else. So even the concept like Advaita, where they are telling, there is only one Atma all over and it's a reflection that is there and all. But there also, the whatever is being done, the Atma has to finally get it exhausted in this life. How they are doing it. That's why Vivekananda beautifully said, good, 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 bad, bad, bad. But then you will have to get the sting out. That sting is the one which is getting you out. The sting attached to your karmas, whenever you do it. But once you have the grace of the God, once you understand the ways of the world with the grace of the God, without any attachment, without any selfishness, then you totally get into the blissful stream. When you are getting into the blissful stream, what happens? Whatever you are doing, you are not accumulating any agami karmas. The future karmas, whatever will be coming into as a debit to your account, is avoided. And whatever you are doing, you will be doing only with the purpose of unselfishness. So there are three things. Karma Yoga, when we say, what is Karma Yoga? Karma Yoga is selfishness to unselfishness. When I do with the selfishness, that is Kriya. Selfishness in the sense, whatever is essential for my living to sustain in this world. When you do karma, it is unselfishness, you are doing it as a duty. See, because now the COVID is there. We say frontline workers, all the doctors, okay, they are also being paid, they are not doing, but you see the sacrifice they are making. All the health workers, all the surgeons, all the doctors, 24/7 they are at call. They could be called anytime and they are facing the great risk. And what is their life? They are always on this PPE and because doing all sorts of things. They don't have any personal life. They have sacrificed the life. Almost that is the noble profession. Why medicine is called a noble profession. They are dedicating themselves. That is really the karma. When you do the karma, your antarkana suddhi, what it calls, your entire thought gets purified. Those people, if you really see how they are able to concentrate only on to that they are able to do. For instance, this is how at that point they will not have any thought otherwise. They will not have anything to think about politics. They don't have anything to think about sports. They don't have anything to think about the sort of the rift in the family or this and that. They don't have any time. They are only focusing on what they have to do. That is the unselfishness, karma yoga. What is that? Gita also explains that beautifully in several slokas, in this second and third chapter. It is like that, because that karma yoga is like that. And once you have come to the unselfishness, then what you do, then we call Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. And Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana, how do we achieve? It is from distraction to concentration. So distraction to concentration itself, is a very, very great effort. It needs. See what has happened. I will just quote one small instance. This instance was an outstanding instance in the life of Vivekananda again. So Vivekananda, let us take how selfishness to unselfishness in his life came and all. So Vivekananda came to Paramahamsa very intensely when he had a personal problem. His father was having a roaring practice as a lawyer. When he suddenly passed away, his family was in poor condition. They have to sustain themselves. They didn't have so much of a wealth, and there was lot of cases filed by his own relatives and all those things. He came to Ramakrishna. He asked Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa, I think you are telling Kali will give you anything. Can I go and ask? And Ramakrishna said, why not? Why you hesitate? Please go and ask Kali. So he went to Dakshineshwar. You know that Dakshineshwar Kali, she is called Bhavadarini. Bhavadarini is the name of that Lakshmi. Bhavadarini is, he went inside. He was trying to have the same conversation as Ramakrishna will have. He went there, but he was in a trance. He didn't ask anything. He said, why don't you go and ask for money and the facilities for your family? He went there. He couldn't ask and he didn't ask. He said, he simply was there in a trance. He said, give me that bliss, let me be in that bliss itself. Always. He came out. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa asked Vivekananda, what did you ask? No, I couldn't ask. I went there inside and I was in a trance. That experience was so blissful. I didn't ask anything, I just was there and that was good enough. Then why don't you ask? Why don't you go once again? So he once again went for the second time. Second time also he couldn't ask. He was there and he was there for longer hours. He couldn't do. He said, don't give up. Go for the third time. Paramahamsa sent him. Third time also he went. He couldn't ask. He said, and finally he told Paramahamsa, I am not going to ask for these silly things. Despite the fact he was in need of money, Vivekananda couldn't ask for pecuniary benefit to himself or his family. That means that he has devoted himself. Finally he got into, then Ramakrishna told him, I think, then he declared, I have found the man who is going to be the great soul in this world. So that's how he came. And again in this is how selfishness to unselfishness. When we go to the temple, we leave everything and go for, because this time, I will go and ask for, when I will buy a house, because I don't have a house and I've been looking for a long time. So you go and ask for, when you go in front, and if you are really in a sort of you have that bhava, you will not ask for that. You allow the things to be as good as this. Let the life be contented. By Purushartha, the house will come on its own. It is a byproduct. You don't have to specifically ask for that. The God will smile at you. He has given you so graceful thing, and you are given enough energy and enough wisdom to have your Purushartha and get the benefits of it. And God can't give you something small what you are asking for. He has already given the bliss, and He is giving you the bliss to go about in your way without any error, without any fault, with total focus. This is exactly, because what happens when you are evolved, you are not going to ask for anything. What you are going to, because nothing is going to matter to you. It is not at all. Because Purushartha, it comes as a byproduct. And whatever has to come. And you have got enough, and you are not going to long for anything else. When you have the zero desire, you have almost reached the periphery of the godliness. And you are eligible to know who is Almighty, who is Brahman, and to know it. The next you will have to give the focus. The Agni and the Vayu, they went there. They had the pride. The pride was the Ahankara, as he said. It's part of the mana. That prevented them. Ahankara is part of you. So, though it is there, you can't take away Ahankara, leave it. I leave it. Where you will leave it? It will not leave you. It is part of you. What you can do is, you can make it dormant and inactive and keep it at its place. It is part of you. That is why in Saiva Siddhanta says, this pride is inborn like Atma. It is there. Right from the pride in the sense Ahankara, the identification with the body. But once you understand, once you totally come to the core from the periphery of the world after seeing all the experiences, then you feel that I has got no meaning, and you just keep it its place. It doesn't have any active role. The I is there only for the purpose of identification. However a great philosopher you may be, in this Vyavaharika world when you have to interact, you will have to interact as I only. I will have to introduce myself with my name, my place, my parents' name. That is how I can identify. So there is no other way. That is allowed. That is how we will have to live in this world. I can't take away the I totally. But I should not bring I for every experience of mine. That is why in the devotion, for everything we will have to add God to that. Anything that happens, we add God to that. See, our religion is not a polytheistic religion. So we are supposed to be having, as the Western scholars and others say, 33 crore devas, devatas and all. It is not even 33 crores and all. But that is, of course, as identification they have said. What they have said, the rishis and all these concepts have to be imparted. Every segment of your life, they put a God into that. So that you can always have God with you. When you want to have a wealth, Lakshmi. When you want to have Vidya, Saraswati. When you want to have a valor, it is Durga. And when you want to have the knowledge, it is Hayagriva. So likewise, they have given everything. And so that, every time you seek, when you are interacting with the world, you just think of that God. And over a period of time, that is initial state. Over a period of time, you understand all these gods etymologically refer to only one Brahman. That is Om, Pranava. That entire Pranava, what we call it, that refers to the Paramatman. That is why Gayatri is so important. So the entire etymologically, whether you call it Vayu, Agni, Varuna, Sesha, Garuda, all those things, everything you call it, they have been given a function so that in Vyavaharika world, when you interact, all your actions will also have God association with that. But once you yourself attach with your Ishta Devata, I think he is with me whatever I am doing. I am eating, he is with me. I am going for registration of a building, he is with me. I am going to attend a court case, he is with you. So you do everything, and whatever success or whatever, you feel success. Success is not a measure of this world. Success is he gives you the right thing at the right time to you. Whatever happens to you is right. Nothing is not right. He has given everything right to you. He is going to give you everything right. And you deserve what you are getting, exactly that he gives it to you. Therefore, once you take him part of it, and whatever little comfort you get, whatever benefit you get, you also share it with him. Look, because of you I got it, because you are part of me. And if you feel something, it's like I am in a sort of a not so good mood, and then you tell him, what God, you will have to take me out of that. Anyway, I am leaving it to you. That's all. Then you go about doing your work. He will take it. The association of the God totally will give you the devotion. That is how this next point when it comes, how you will have to develop the focus. That is what in the mantra number 11 and 12 we will see. Of course, indirectly, the hints will be given here. Now we have seen how Indra has been asked to go and find out who is this Yaksha. Ataha Indram Abruvan Magavan Yetat Vijanihi Kim Yetat Yakshamiti. And Indra says, Tadeti Tadastu. Then when he goes, Tadabrivadruvan, when he goes there, Abhyadravat, he hastens to find out, let me go and find out. My first and second batsmen have failed. Let me go and see, how I can score. He goes there. Tad Abhyadravati, he rushes fast. Tasmat Thirodate. Thirodate in the sense disappeared. The Brahman disappeared. Or that Yaksha disappeared. Nothing was there. He came and at least he asked others, who are you? What is your capability? And they said, I can burn the entire thing to pieces. He put a blade of grass. Vayu also, he said the same thing. Nasika Vayu. Let us understand, it's not a Mukhya Prana. It is a Nasika Vayu. Not Pravaha Vayu, it's a Nasika Vayu. So he also couldn't do anything. Now Indra has come. So Indra, even before he could approach and ask, or he being asked, suddenly he went off. How is it that, what is that, and what is the reason for this? See, this is where the concept comes. Agni represents all the karmendriyas. Vayu represents all the jnanendriyas. When karmendriyas alone can't go, and when you go deep into the karmendriyas and perfect it, as we have invoked in the Kenopanishad, make all our angas perfect. When you do that, you get the atme of total devotion. When you get that atme of total devotion, and then with the intellect, when you get the atme of total knowledge, both of them together, that is why you represents the knowledge which you have to acquire. With that, both of them together, when they are together, they can go and find, you can get all the indications, but you will not be able to realize, because we said body, mind and intellect can't do that. And Indra represents the mind. The karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, basically they are functioning through the mind. So the mind has to enable them to get the knowledge, process the knowledge and gives them what to do and all. Now being a mind, he is going there, but suddenly disappeared. Why it happened? Because it is the sadhana that is required. Sadhaka, see, we are all, what we are trying to become is a sadhaka, seekers, to seek how to understand the great concept of Brahman, to how to get the grace of his full blessings throughout our life. That's what we are doing it. For that we have done everything and all. So now when Indra couldn't get, what happens? He was totally, of course, surprised. And he didn't do anything. Nivavrate, he has not gone back. He stayed there. When you are staying there, when you are not able to realize, when you are not able to find out, when you are not able to get through what is the real, but when you are nearing the core of your existence, you will have to wait. You will have to do the sadhana, the sadhaka, you will have to wait. And once it is appropriate time, the God will give his grace in full effulgence. That is exactly the purpose here it has come about. So once he has disappeared, then said to Indra, see, having gone there, the mind and the jnanendriyas, karmendriyas could not find. The Supreme God transcends the realm of mind, body and intellect. Therefore, they are not able to find out. So now, he doesn't do anything but he waits. He gets into meditation, reflection. Meditation is, as Vivekananda says, it tingles the last drop of blood. You totally concentrate fully into Saranagati, Paripurna Saranagati. Once you do Parisuddha Bhakti, once you have it, then possibly you will be able to get the small flash of the lightning, the small twitch of the eye, whatever that can come through, depending upon one's sort of a yogyata. So yogyata anusarena, as Raghavendra Swami has said. So the mantra number 12, now it comes. He is waiting and he is patiently waiting. He is not rushing back, or he is not trying to find out where this yaksha has gone. And then it comes, Satasmin Akashe, Tasmin Eva Akashe. By the time when he was waiting, suddenly in the Akashe, Tasmin Eva Akashe, Striyam Ajagama. One lady comes. One of the brilliant lady who comes. Ajagama, she just appears. Bahushovamanam, the effulgent, the continuous effulgent. Udyat Bhanu Sahastra Koti Sadrsam. Like 1 crore, because the rising sun, with that brightness she comes there. Shobhamanam Uma. She is Uma. Who is this Uma? Haimavati Tam Ho Uvacha Yakshamiti. He asks that Haimavati who has come, Tam Hovacha Yakshamiti. Who is this Yaksha? That Bahushobhamanam, here it is a very great important point is there. The entire scripture, Haimavati Uma is supposed to be the embodiment of the entire Brahma Vidya, scriptural knowledge. She is the Shruti Mata. When we say we are trying to understand Veda, Vedangas, Upanishad, it is basically the understanding the Shruti Mata. Shruti Mata is embodied by this Haimavati Uma. See, when she is the one, she is Haimavati in the sense, she is the daughter of Himavan. Himavan is the, Hima is snow. Himavan is the pristine pure snow. The knowledge is pristine pure, no taint, contaminated. Haimavati in the sense, she is so pristine pure. She holds the entire pure scriptural knowledge. Once you know the Shruti Mata through whom you can understand that Veda, Vedangas, Upanishad, Brahma Sutras, Gitas, everything give finally this pristine pure knowledge. And it is finally been embodied in the Uma, Haimavati. How we know this? In fact, there is a beautiful sloka. And that sloka is in Devi Navaratnamala, it comes. Omkara Panjara Sukhi. She is the embodiment of Omkara, Pranava. She brings the knowledge of Pranava. Panjara Sukhi. She is the female parrot. The female parrot, like in Meenakshi, you see the parrot sitting on her right hand, because she is the same, she is representing the Omkara, the Pranava. She is a Smruti Mata. She is Shruti Mata, Meenakshi. That's how, this parrot is there and all. Omkara Panchara Sugim, Upanishad Udyana Keli Kalakanti. The Upanishad is a Udyana. It's a great, wonderful garden. It's a garden of, like Eden, Garden of Eden. It is a wonderful garden. And the garden is full of knowledge. And she is the Kaku there, the female Kaku there. Omkara Panjara Sukhi, and she is the embodiment of entire Omkara, and she is the one carrying the entire knowledge through her embodiment as a Sukhi. The Sukhi, Upanishadya Udyana Keli Kalakanti Majan, Agama Vipana Mayuri. Entire Agama, this entire Agama is the knowledge given by all the sages, rishis, starting from Vyasa, down the line, everyone, all the great rishis. Agama Vipana Mayurim, all the things. She is the Mayurim. It is a peahen and a peacock, female peacock. Like, it has got the effulgent, it's just opens its entire, the fan. The colorful fan, it is representing all the knowledge of the sages and all from Himalayas. Agama Vipana Mayurim, Aryavantarim, Vibhaparim, Gaurim. This is the sloka. Basically, Himavati Uma, she represents the great knowledge of all the rishis, all the scriptural knowledge and the Smriti. She only can give. And with that, when she appears, he is more, because he gets the self-confidence. His self-confidence grows. When Shruti Mata herself has come, Haimavatim Ta Ho Uvacha, Ha Uvacha, he asked her, Kimetat Yakshamiti. He asked that Haimavati, who is this Yaksha? So it has got two more interpretations. Initially, as per when the Paramatma comes, he comes with his whole family, what we said. He came with Garuda, Sesha, Brahma, Shiva, and all their consort, all of them they came, because he never comes alone. The entire world is his family. He never is alone. He takes all of us to be his family, but we only are not able to access to him. But he still considers us and trying to be with us. So when he comes, once he sees that unless the sadhaka is able to get the proper meditation, the Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana, he will not be able to realize. And he could be given the knowledge by only Suchi Mata. And she is the one who is the embodiment of the entire knowledge. So they all left, leaving Uma. The Uma was then visible to him. Till then none of them are visible. When she comes, the entire Shastra, the Jnana was visible. Then Indra have the sort of a self-confidence to ask, who is this Yaksha? This is the question no one has asked. Neither Agni is asked. They went and they only talked about themselves. And Vayu also has not asked. He also talked about Nasika Vayu. But Indra didn't say anything. He didn't say, I am Indra, I want to know who is Yaksha. He didn't say. He wanted to know, Kim Yakshamiti? Who is this Yaksha? The first time the right question has been asked by a sadhaka, that is where the Indra represents. This shows how we will have to, because once you do the sadhaka, you only be going about doing your things. In this world you do about your job, don't bother about it, he will take care of it. So this, when Indra approached the spirit appeared. This is because at this stage he was not entitled for a direct teaching by Brahman or by Brahma, Shiva, Garuda, Sesha, anyone. Because they are all superior to him. This entire thing is being brought about to bring about the concept of Taratamya. See, in the Dvaita, the Taratamya is very, very sort of elaborated and considered to be one of the major aspects of the religion, a major aspect of the philosophy, which other philosophy also they do have. Because when they do puja, they have got the Taratamyas, they do it. But it is not, because as much enshrined, established as in Dvaita. This is where the concept of Taratamya comes. Taratamya comes in the sense, every time you have got a stage of your development. When you are getting development, because when you were not having the pride, when you leave all raga, dvesha, everything and all, when you don't have the pride, when you don't have the selfishness is not there, you are totally unselfish, then you are become eligible to get understanding of the God. So what is the next step? This is the mantra number 12, the last mantra of this. So he has asked the question. Now you will have to find out how to find out. He being a sadhaka, he has to do the sadhaka. What is the sadhaka? Sadhaka, we said, selfishness to unselfishness is the karma yoga. That we have understood by and large. Because we have to do without any selfishness. We will have to do like doctors are doing, like so many other people are doing. When you just work only on what you have to do without bothering what is happening around. So that is unselfishness. Then come to distraction to concentration. See, in a satsangam, when you are here, we will all say we have understood, what is this, I will do that, I will go, and after lunch I will do, after tea I will do, or after dinner I will do, tomorrow I will do like that. That doesn't happen, because that you will have to take a pratigya and you will have to do right now, here and all that, because that is how they say, because unless you do that, that effort will never come into, the first point of action will never come into. So distraction to concentration is a very, very great effort, because concentration is required so that you forget everything. Assuming, you are setting right something, or you are writing something, or you are reading something. See, in those days, when you were youngsters, we didn't have all these medias and social medias and all. We used to read novels. The famous novel all of us have read, Ponniyin Selvan, when you said that all 5 volumes or 6 volumes. If we go start reading it, we will not come for the lunch, we will not come for the dinner. And we will say, we will just take it afterwards. That is how it used to take you away. You are totally concentrating. You will appreciate everything. It's a marvelous, the fantastic work. You get into that. You totally forget yourself. We used to read like that. But that is where, you are totally dedicating yourself and the concentration comes in. Here again, a wonderful experience in the life of Vivekananda was there. The Vivekananda, one day, he was just about, it is just early morning. He was just going through some Encyclopedia Britannica. Because in those days also, you will have to go through the big, hard books. That is the only way you can get, whatever knowledge or whatever information you want. The Encyclopedia Britannica was, of course, 9 to 11 volumes in those days. So one Swamiji, who is also very learned, who was also highly educated and he has Cambridge, Oxford and all, he has then take the sannyasa, become a monastic member of the Ramakrishna order. He was also there, he came to Vivekananda. What is that early morning, what you are doing? He said, I am going through this encyclopedia. It's such a big volume, you will be taking another month or to read, why are you trying to, you will have other things to do, or you want to go about reading only this Encyclopedia Britannica? I asked him. He said, I have already gone through this. In fact, through the night, I have gone through all the 11 volumes, 9 to 11 volumes, I have gone through everything. Is it? Then can I ask questions? You ask any questions, random. And this Swamiji, he is also very, very top literate, great, highly educated person, very respected person. He asked him random questions, facilitated question, like Siddhartha Basu used to ask in his quiz. He asked him, for every question Vivekananda answered to the perfection till the last comma full stop. Because Encyclopedia Britannica, every word they would have said what is the origin, from which language it has come, which country and which continent it was spoken, how it has been taken into the sequence, what is the current meaning, is it right to use in this word, everything he said. How in one night, that is the great masters, the distraction to concentration, that is the highest sort of example one can get in this life. He got simply startled. The entire volumes of Encyclopedia Britannica in a night he has gone through, and he's just been giving answers just like that. Anything you ask, biology, chemistry, this and that, philosophy, all etymology, everything, epistemology, everything he was doing it. That is where the ability, the capability of focusing ourselves is there. Whether we are able to bring it in us and do it, that is where the sadhana counts. In fact, when Vivekananda went to Trivandrum on his journey after returning from England, before going to UK, he has gone there. At that time, I have narrated the story of Ramaswamy Iyer, because when he had a meeting, he was a young person at the time in the college. So he was staying in his house. His father was a host. He was also a highly educated person. In that house, Vivekananda was staying there and discussing them. And nearby, because some acquaintance, one Brahmin priest, Pandit, came to the house. Vivekananda, we know, is Narendranath Datta. They are not Brahmins. They are called Kshatriyas. Mostly they are known as Kayasthas. Basically, they are like Kshatriyas. The Pandit, is the South Indian Pandit. He recited some mantras and said, because only Brahmins can recite, all those mantras and this. You are not Brahmin. You are a Kshatriya or Kayas, whatever it may be. You are not eligible to do that. He told Vivekananda. The Vivekananda corrected him. What you have recited is incorrect. He corrected him, including the Swara Anusara as determined by Panini. Unless you say as determined by Panini, it will have a different meaning and you will be invoking all the wrong concepts into your brain and you are not eligible to be a Pandit. So that means you shut yourself, I know what am I doing. That is the power. That power is the concentration. Distraction to concentration, that is the highest excellence no one can achieve. That has been exemplified with Vivekananda. So when this happened, likewise, when it's a sadhaka, when we learn to do, that they call it as Raja Yoga. The distraction to concentration, what Vivekananda has achieved, that is called Raja Yoga. The first one is Karma Yoga, that is Nyaja Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is, when we say devotion, you get attached, you make God part of everything in your life. When you are giving devotion in the sense, anything he has to take over. As I was narrating the story of a bhikshu, once he comes to your house, you give him a corner. Then he says, I need a small corner for putting my Gopala Vigraha or the Salagrama. Then he said, because I need some place to stretch myself there. And next morning he says, he goes to the garden and finds out all the good flowers. He says, all the good flowers are to be offered to Paramatma, I will take it. And when he goes to the kitchen and when you start preparing the food, he said, look, the first food has to be, bhoga has to be given to God. Likewise, God will take you everything once you make him part of it. But if you don't make him part of it, he can't come to you. He is already there with you. That is devotion. Making God as a part of everything what you are doing, that devotion, that is Bhakti Yoga. The Jnana Yoga is the one which you find out, Tava Samipe Vartate, who is acting. You should see the Ganapate Ganeshutvam Ahu Vipratamam Kavina. See, because he is the one who is inside, he is getting done by us. When I am talking about whatever little on this Upanishad, he is getting it done by me. And he is enabling me to tell, what are all the things I have understood. My ability, Yatamati, whatever I have understood, it need not be correct. You are understanding to the extent, you can take it and you can understand it and you can consider it necessary. Because this is the interaction what is takes place. Because everything is done by him. None of us are doing it. When he is bringing all of us together in this forum and getting it done, it is his grace. And he has sort of created this particular aura. All of us are getting it. So that is why, because all the four are required in our life. Whether you call it, whether am I doing a karma yoga good enough? Yes, karma you have to do. Kurvate karmani. Karmanyeva, because you have to do. Karmanyeva, must, you have to do. Karmanyeva, you cannot get away from that. You will have to do. And then, when you come to the concentration, it is for our own excellence, our own brilliance, our own understanding. Once you concentrate, it takes you to sort of an unexplainable bliss. Inexplicable bliss. It takes you to such a wonderful bliss because you are focusing on whatever you are doing. That is, in fact, there is karma and bhakti, everything is done. Once you have that concentration. Bhakti yoga, you make the God as a part of everything what you are doing. And then you offer everything. You sail with him, he sails with you. You swim with him, he swims with you. And you dive down, he also dives down. You climb up and you go to the exalted place, he also comes to you with the exalted. So once you have it, he occupies every one of it, every part of it, every DNA of it. Then you don't have to worry about it. So once you got it, then you will not be bothering. Oh, no, I will have to do so many works, in the next 2 weeks. Oh, how am I going to do? Don't think about it. Go about it. Take his bless. And he is with me. He is also part of me. I will do it. It will get done. It will get done as much as necessary, as beautifully it is to be done. It will be done. This is where Bhakti Yoga is. And then we come to the Jnana Yoga. Once you understand the self is, this Tava Samipe Vartate, he is always there. He is the one who is getting it done. You are not doing it. You are an instrument. That is a Etat Satyam Brahmapura. What the Purandara, that's the name, whoever is Etat Satyam Brahmapura. What is that Brahmapura? We want to become Purandara. We don't want to become Puranjara. Purandara is taking the God inside you. Pura Antara. Pura is the God who is living, who is dominating, who is getting it done. He is the one finally gets everything done. And he is the one finally gives it. And when you say something, when you are doing something wrong also, is it that God is with you and all? God is with you. And the intellect says, please don't do it. And our intellect has got the ability, once you have a desire, to prove a right a wrong, wrong a right. Intellect says, it doesn't fail to say it is wrong. But then you have got the desire, you have got the vasanas, you have carried over, and you have at that particular point of time the compulsion. You will go about it. Even if your intellect says it is not correct, you are not going to listen to them. Intellect will keep on saying, but how am I to? I will have to go to, at that point of time, God will be observing you as a sakshi. But you will be doing everything and the karma phala will come to you. This is exactly to have the awareness of the God. We are having it. How to feel the awareness of the God? We said, because a tampura in a sort of a concert, when everyone is doing it all. The beautiful, the Saiva Siddhantam is another great concept. It has got its own efficacy. It has got own great masters. The Saiva Siddhantam is in Tamil. They are greatest Sivacharyas and greatest Jnana Sambandhar, Ummapati Sivacharya, Kachiyappan Nambigal. So many people are there, including, so many. They have all done it, but all of them are masters in Sanskrit also, because they have brought the Upanishad concept into the Saiva Siddhanta. They say, assuming a fish is in the Kshirabdya Samudra, even in where the Vishnu is lying, in the Yoga Nidra, in the Kshirabdya Samudra, if you put a fish, the fish will not take milk. It will look for the worms. That is its food. Likewise, we are there. We don't realize we are in Kshirabdya Samudra. We are in the Brahmapura. We have not realized that. As you walk, when you are walking on the Mother Earth, have you ever felt, you are walking on the Mother Earth? She is keeping you in place. We don't, because even forget about Mother Earth, even the ground on which you are walking, how much time you are aware. Only when a ditch comes, you are able to slip, you are likely to slip, and then you get aware of it. Not otherwise. When everything going is good, you just go about as if nothing is happening, because you are walking in this. What is that? The road is there, ground is there, house is there. I am walking every day, I am walking it. That awareness is not there. Once you do everything with awareness, then you become entitled to get the highest bliss. The awareness in the sense, because it's not, you are not distracting yourself. Even that concentration we don't have. So when you are walking on the road also, we are walking on the road, I think suddenly, the road is, undulated in everywhere in India. Suddenly when undulation comes, when you are about to slip, you realize, yes, you put your foot on the wrong place. Likewise, that awareness will have to once you make him part of it, he is with me, he will take care of me, that awareness will be there. But you can't simply say, he is with me, he will take care of it, you keep quiet. It's not that. You do it, but he is with you. But don't bother, even if something comes, some obstacles comes, forget about it, he will take care of it. I have to do certain things in 2 hours, but I couldn't complete it. It may take 3 days. Doesn't matter. But then once you have started, he will make you to try to do at least within a day or within a day and a half. He will not allow you to, because then he will give it to you with the total satisfaction. That bhava will have to be there. So that bhava will come only when you see, because look, today I have given this to my daughter, or I have given it to my friend, and today I got it from someone. I once you get, because you just say, he got it for me. What is the simple thing? Even if you get a cup of coffee, your wife, when you need it badly, understand, and she gives it to you, take it, it's finally he gets it done. Okay, your wife has given, no problem. But wife has made her to give. So likewise, when you take that bhava, the life will be wonderful. And you won't have any ill will towards anyone. Suppose someone who, we always have got the bundle of expectations. We expect so many things from so many people. When that doesn't happen, you get disappointed. See, I expect him to do it. And people nowadays, unless you tell them, they don't, at that time also they don't understand. By understanding your expectations, no one will do. In those days, they say, when Thiruvalluvar was asking his wife, she just left even the bucket in the well, and she came and done. Now you have to leave the bucket and to go to your wife's call, and that is like that. So therefore, we don't have to bother about all those things and all. Don't expect by chance, you will get a good tiffin today and all. By chance you get it, thanks to her, and God has made her to give you. It's God's grace, you got it. Like everything, you put it to God's grace, your expectations will become zero. Once your expectations become zero, you will not be miserable at all in the life. That is the final truth. The Kanda number 3 has by and large brought about it. The Kanda number 3 is going to take us to the wonderful segment of this Upanishad, Kanda number 4, where he has asked who is this Yaksha. He's left at that, the paradox. And immediately she did not reply. She just, because she looked at him. In the sense, because of the God, Omkara Pancharasaki Upanishad Udhyana Keli Kalakanti, Ahama Vipina Mayuri, Aryavantari, she is looking at whether he is entitled to get the knowledge. Whether he is doing the sadhaka, because when you are doing the sadhaka is only doing concentration on your job, concentration of what you are doing with a total devotion. There is no selfishness involved. If I do it, I will get this Padma Bhushan, I will get it that Bhushan, or nothing like that. And I just going through it is my duty. I want to do it. I want to excel in that. That's why, because the great person has said, even if you are a janitor, do your job so properly, and so that others will sort of envy you. Whether someone can maintain the bath and toilet so well. See, that is where, everywhere, whatever you do, and don't have any expectations. Someone will come and appreciate you. You do it. If they appreciate, it's okay. Finally he gets it done, that appreciation. But once you go about it, you will only be the excellent soul all through. Like Vivekananda, as he mastered all the Encyclopedia Britannica, light through the night in one night, and that too blemishlessly. That is the level. Once we get it, then we are in the vicinity of the God. We have got the grace of the God. That is what the final purpose is. That sadhana and content of the sadhana, we will see in the 4th Kanda. And 4th Kanda also is going to give you the wonderful words repeatedly, we are telling in this Upanishad, is Tadvanam. The Brahman is referred to as Tadvanam, the most excellent word, extolling the height of beauty, extolling whatever you can consider to be the blissful personality in this world. That is going to be described in the mantra number 6 of the canto number 4, that we will discuss more detail, and we have got an excellent scripture to support that. We will do that with that wonderful forthcoming episodes. I think I will try to conclude today's session of Kenopanishad. Looking forward to your comments, queries, or clarifications, or critique, anything. Thank you. Vinayak, are you there? Aman?
Yes, sir, I joined little late, sorry.
Oh, no problem. You have given me a message, sir. I got that. Well, certainly. Thank you.
I joined around 45
No problem.
It was nice.
We have not gone too far, but anyway, I think we are just trying to round up, what we have discussed. Yeah, how are you? So I was...
Initially, I tried to log in from my mobile, so they moved to my laptop.
Okay. I could see your face in between. That's what... And Amarnath, I think last week, perhaps, I have sent that recording. Perhaps, I think, I thought, you would be very much interested. We talked about Kalidasa and his work, Meghadutam.
Oh,
I think you can see that. Maybe, I think, later also we will touch some of his works. I think it is one of the wonderful works, and it was very appropriate, to describe the Yaksha. It was there in the last Talk 17, which has been uploaded in the YouTube. If you get, I think since you are too keen a student of Sanskrit, I was wondering, you may be able to enjoy that as well. Thank you then. If you don't have any queries, and I can conclude the session. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahaihi, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Krishnapanamastu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramachandran.
Thank you.